Today I wanted to start a new series here on my channel where I break down makeup looks for very specific events or what you'd be looking for. They're going to be very niche so that it's easier for the everyday consumer to find them and pinpoint the exact makeup look to the event that they're going to or what they're wearing, what they want to look like, what stage of makeup expertise they're in, things like that. Today we're going to start off very simple. It's just if you want to revamp your everyday makeup look and specifically for the fall. So let's get started. This is my skin completely clean. I washed my face because of the makeup that I was wearing throughout the day, and you can kind of see the residue on my hairline because I blend my bronzer in there. And especially for an everyday makeup look, if your main concern is your makeup not lasting as long, it's so important to start off with clean skin. And even right after you wake up, a lot of people are like, okay, but my skin had nothing on it. It's those oils that build up throughout your sleep. They're the natural oils, but you still kind of want to strip your skin of those as well. So I would go in with my micellar water on a cotton pad, and you'd be surprised how much dirt and oil collects on your skin, especially around this area where we have the most pores. So make sure you do that as your first step. Next up, we want to go in with a moisturizer that is suitable for your skin type. This is the most important. Also contributes to your longevity of the makeup. In these colder months, my skin becomes a little drier. I go in with something a little bit heavier. This is the e.l.f. Holy Hydration Face Cream with hyaluronic acid and peptides. As you can see, it's quite thick, but I'm going to really work it in between my fingers to kind of break up the product and then start massaging it into my skin. More than likely, you're not going to be focusing on heavier eyeshadow for the fall, especially if you're a beginner in makeup or just want something super natural. So you're going to be focusing on how can I amp up a little bit of my blush and a little bit of my lip color. So because you're going to be focusing on those areas, we moisturize your skin, but it's just as important to moisturize your lips at the beginning of your routine, because if you do go for something more matte and of a darker pigment, it's going to show up those dry patches more on your lips. This is the Laneige Lip Sleeping Mask. I love using this on my clients as well because typically they're bridesmaids, and I will use a liquid lipstick so that it lasts as long as possible. And those matte formulas really cling on to any dry patches they can, or they emphasize it at least. So we want to counteract that by going in with this first. And then by the end of our makeup application, the main job of the lip mask is going to be done, and then you can wipe off the excess with a little Q-tip. All right, now this is one of my favorite makeup products for fall, spring, summer, or winter. This is the Loreal Glotion. I just love the effect that this gives on the skin without being obnoxious or too makeup-y. This has been in my routine for like 2-3 years now, and I just like to focus it right here on the tops of the cheekbones. It's very foolproof. It doesn't add any greasiness to your skin. I feel like the Charlotte Tilbury one adds a tiny bit of a slip to your skin, which I don't like. This one almost sets down and can be worn alone or underneath foundation, but today we're not going to be using any foundation, and you can just apply it with your fingers all over your cheeks. Now there's so many different nuances to makeup. That's why there's so many different makeup tutorials on YouTube, and it can get overwhelming very quickly. I'm going to try and bring it down to the basics as much as I can in this video so that you don't get overwhelmed. But at the same time, I want to curate to as many different people, as many different skin types, concerns of makeup, age groups as possible. So if you have any other questions that I haven't hit on in today's video, then I can make either a whole video dedicated on what your concern is, or just leave it down below and I can respond to it. One of my favorite makeup finds this summer, and I've been using it into the fall as well, is the e.l.f. Halo Glow Beauty Wands. I just love the formula, how thin and lightweight it is, as well as it's easy to blend, especially if you're a beginner. Deposit this on the back of my hand. Your main instinct, because it comes in such an easy packaging, is going to be drawing it on your face. Don't do that. Although it seems simple, the more lines that you draw, the harder it is going to be to blend. And as a beginner, or even if you're in a quick time crunch and you want to get your makeup done fast, that's not the way to do it. So always deposit the product on the back of your hand first. And then, I really wanted to share this brush with you. If I can find it here in my collection. Yes, it's right here. This is like one of the MAC dupes, but this is from Shein. Look at this. I will try and find it and link it down below, but I love this brush. I think it was, I swear, under $5. But basically what I'll do with this is, because it has this shape that it's so firm, it's going to apply it and blend it at the same time. So I'll pick it up like this on the back of my hand, whatever bronzer product you're using. What I see a lot of beginners do is they'll find their cheekbone and that's where they'll apply the makeup product. That's not wrong, But because this is a cream, it's more vulnerable to blending around and downwards, which will drag your face down. So find your cheekbone and then just go a little bit higher. My point of reference is always the top of the ear. So I'll start right there and press your product in. Again, your first instinct is going to be to blend it in, but don't do that because it's going to create a patchy application and honestly just make your skin red underneath, causing you to use even more product to try and cover it up. Now our skin is bronzed, we're starting to see more of that life back into our skin. You're gonna be like, Anna, what if I have blemishes that I wanna cover? If you have specific blemishes like acne spots or acne scarring, do that before any of this. If they're only a couple, continue with the routine that I'm showing you right now. The reason that I say that is because those acne spots, first of all, it's very important that you properly hydrate those as we did in the beginning, because no matter how much product you add on top, it's going to look worse if it's not properly moisturized, because it's just going to continue to grab onto any moisture it can from the makeup product you're applying on top, so it's going to look even more dried out. If you do have acne prone skin and you want to focus more of the coverage first before going in with all these bronzing and blush highlighter things, go in with more of a gripping primer. The e.l.f. Jelly Pop Dew Primer, the one that's in the green, I think that's also called the Grip Primer, and the Milk Hydro Grip. They're all very similar formulas that'll allow for that area to be properly hydrated as well as grab on to the product. All right, now what we're gonna do is go in with one of my favorite products. This is the Freck Cheek Slime in the shade Jam Sesh. I love this product so much because I've said it before, but this is like a hybrid between the Benetint from Benefit as well as the Rare Beauty liquid blush, because it's so pigmented, it almost stains the cheek and looks natural. You can use it on bare skin or a full face of makeup. So once again, I applied it like this. I'm gonna take that brush once again. It's very pigmented, so be careful. And I'm gonna start on the tops of my cheekbones. For my face shape, this is where I like to apply the blush. If you wanna make your face shape look a little bit more round, then you can focus it on the actual apple of your cheek, but this is where I'm gonna keep it at. Now, if you're like, okay, I kinda wanna get into eyeshadow, but I don't know where to start type of thing, and I don't wanna spend a lot of time on it, your best friends are going to be either a shimmery colored eyeliner and or a long wearing eyeshadow stick. I haven't tried many, but I really like these Bobbi Brown ones. I have the shades Taupe and Cinnamon. Beautiful fall colors, especially for if you're around my skin tone. For reference, one of the foundations that I have nearby is L'Oreal Infallible 425. This matches me quite well. And the Lancome concealer in the shade 250. Again, I work these on the back of my hand. You can also put it directly on your eye. It's just that I find when I do use that type of technique, I find I overuse it. And when you have too much of a cream product on your eye or in a delicate area like this, it tends to crease a little bit more. And start all over the lid, blending. You're like, Anna, but I don't want to use makeup brushes. That's okay. You don't have to, and it doesn't have to, you know, only be used with a brush. It can also, like I said, use a tiny bit directly from the stick onto your eyelid, and then you can just blend it out with your finger. Also, since we're not applying a layer of concealer around our eye area yet, I have found that this taupe color, without using any concealer around, almost allows for a little bit of color correction because it has a slight warm undertone. So when I use it around my eye area, it's kind of canceling out those blue undertones. Therefore, I don't use as much concealer, depending on how dramatic you want to go for the day. You can either go in with a darker cream eyeshadow stick, or one of my favorite ways to spice up a makeup look is a metallic eye pencil. This is from Rimmel, the Scandalized Waterproof Gel Pencil in the shade Brown, but it has a little bit of shimmer to it. So I'm just going to line my upper lash line, slightly stamping this on there, and then taking a pencil brush and smoking it out. And it might seem very dramatic right when you smoke it out or right when you apply it, but once you also apply your mascara, you won't see as much of a contrast. Oh, I actually have some other recommendations of cream shadows. These are from Revlon. The colors stay in the shade Chocolate and Espresso. This Espresso one reminds me of MAC Groundwork, but it's a very, honestly, hit or miss for your skin tone, but it has the exact type of sheen and finish to it, which is stunning if you have a suitable skin tone for this. And then I have Chocolate. if you want to go for more of that grungy look. Okay, so mascara is on, and now we can move on to the rest of the skin. I find that a lot of blush screams summer, and then a lot of bronzer gives me all those warm tones. So I'm going to continue with those via my Makeup by Mario bronzer. I'm going to use, again, one of these Shein brushes. The reason that I bought these is because I bought like a lot for my kit so that I have like multiples of each. And I fell in love with them myself and started using them from like my personal kit too. So once again, because this is a larger brush, I'm going to pick up the product, and then I always like work it into the brush itself, like in the cap. And then I'll just start pressing it along wherever I applied the cream bronzer. Typically for every day, I would not use a concealer, but just to add a little bit more to this tutorial, I'm going to go in with my Maybelline Fit Me. This is in the shade 15, right underneath my eyes, and it has a tiny bit of a peachy undertone to cancel out, again, those blue tones underneath my eyes, with a fluffy concealer brush to diffuse it out right away. Now this will also help with creating a little bit more contrast with the eyeliner and eyeshadow that we applied, because this is a light area and then on our eyes is a dark area. And I'm going to use a tiny bit of my Laura Mercier powder with that same brush, just pressing it right underneath. If you have trouble with your under eyes creasing, make sure they're, again, properly moisturized at the beginning of the makeup application, and then also you're setting it correctly. So I have been loving using a paddle brush actually for more glam looks, or even actually natural looks, really pressing it underneath my eyes. It kind of acts like a powder puff, essentially. Just like that. I love that. Blot off any of the excess lip balm, because whatever is slippery on there will make your lipstick also slip off, so you don't want that. And we're gonna go for a little bit of a darker lip for the fall season. Okay, so you see all these TikTok girlies and Instagram videos, YouTube videos of my favorite lip combo or a lip combo you need. You have to keep in mind they're showing you, and I'm showing you right now, but I want to disclaim this first. You're seeing that lip combo on a face that has makeup already on it. That is attributing to how the lip combo is going to look. For example, some of my favorite nude combos for full glam only work for full glam. I cannot wear those for this type of makeup look. They just look off. So take everything with a filter. Filter everything out for how it would translate to your everyday routine, what you're looking for, not just what's hot at the moment. With that being said, I'm going to share with you what I think would be a beautiful combo for this color scheme that we're going for right now, and for the fall, obviously. Okay, so I decided on Ambition Statement from NYX. I love this because it's also very long wearing, if applied correctly. And Preface, it's also very orange and warm tone. So keep that in mind. This is NARS Tengankya. Yes. I think that's it for this fall makeup look. I think this is perfect, and actually what I would wear. It was very hard for me in the beginning to separate my makeup artist brain from my consumer brain first, because my initial instinct is to give you the best recommendations and what I would use like on a client, but that's extremely different to how I would approach my own everyday makeup routine. And that's why I wanted to start this series in general, because I can give you countless amount of how-to videos, but they're just sometimes like unrealistic for what you want to create for the event you want to go to. Leave me any recommendations down below. The best example of what this series is going to be is, let's say I'm going to a wedding, but I'm wearing a black dress. Period. That's it. I'm going to prom, but I don't want to get my makeup done, but I still want to look a little bit more glam. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this style of video. If you did, please be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel down below. I also film behind the scenes vlogs as a makeup artist for bridal wedding parties, as well as my journey of college, because I'm in my 3rd year of college. And next fall, I start PA school. So if you want to join my journey for that, subscribe down below, and I will see you guys on the next one. Bye.